So from there, from the Sky Island, you jump off and you end up on the new ground level Hyrule. And you sort of said, I think you experienced a bit of disappointment.
I did.
Once you got there. Tell us about that.
I don't know. I felt like, again, I was just so attached to the Sky Islands because it felt instantly like something new, different, and also very. I grew to see it as like my true home, like Link's true home is actually in the Sky Islands. Sort of like how when you felt, maybe how you felt about the Great Plateau is like, oh, I'm leaving my home in the Great Plateau, my comfort zone. And when I came down to Hyrule, I'm like, oh, this is just Hyrule again. Like, I don't know. I know about this, you know? So like, just kind of like, I mean, Hyrule is beautiful, and that the world of Hyrule, especially as we know it from Breath of the Wild, is absolutely incredible, obviously. But it's like, it's a world that you do know, right? This is the part of the game where you're like, yes, I am familiar with these regions, these characters. Yes, the castle has been surrounded by some sort of evil, like, yes, like this is what it used to look like. So there was not just a twinge of like, oh, the newness of it is gone for a bit. But then you start exploring Hyrule and you realize that it is quite different as well. And that feeling of like exploration and excitement comes back. But that initial landing, I was like in this field, like kind of like near the castle. And I was just like, oh, it's just Hyrule again. Like, okay.
That was something I had been so curious about in the Aonuma video where he said like, oh, we don't have time to go through all the changes on Hyrule. I was like, what are the changes?
Yeah.
And now I know the changes are much more subtle.
Right.
Where there are a lot of things that are different, but it's not like fundamentally changing your memory of it. It's like, oh, right, that thing wasn't there before, that thing's changed, or oh, there's a cave there now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like little things, because obviously time has passed, so things are different because time is a different time.
Yeah.
But Hyrule is definitely my least favorite part of this game right now. But I love the whole thing. But like, if you told me like put the 3 areas in order, I'd probably say like Sky, Underground, Hyrule. You know. So that's just me though. Maybe people like love going back to Hyrule.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like fine. It's like, yes, I know this. I know what I'm supposed to do here. Like, I get it.
It feels a lot more alive to me, just because there seems to be a lot more people you can talk to and interact with.
Yes. That part I do love, is that if the world feels more lively. And I think this event that's happened, that has this, you know, the event in the story that's happened has sort of united Hyrule a bit. So like everyone you talk to is like talking about this event that's happened because it's like very traumatic. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, oh, okay, everyone has like a common story. Like we're all like very distraught over like what the heck is going on. I love the people with the newspaper, like the Hyrule, what is it called? Like the...
Well, that was one of my very, very slight criticisms of Breath of the Wild, was like, Kingdom of Hyrule, population 30.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's like now you have the towns, and the towns feel, again, I don't know, they feel more populated to me. But then you find more people out, like, oh, here's like some guys tenting, and they're in a tent, and they're just hanging out, or people on the road.
Like you go to the stable, and there's like people staying at the inn or whatever.
Right,
and
it just feels more bustling.
Yeah, and they're like reading the newspaper. Like everyone's like look at the news. Like, oh my God, like this horrible thing is happening. Like, what do we do? Like it feels like the world is very like connected. Mm-hmm. So I really like that part about Hyrule, and like talking to the people, like meeting people around. I've noticed that like it feels more diverse in Hyrule. Like the Gerudo are also in like the Hyrule castle area instead of just like being cordoned off in the desert by themselves, and like Gorons are like walking around. I'm not saying any Saurus, but like out and about. But like it feels more like people are just like out and about. They're doing their things. They're trying to like make it work in this world where something really bad has happened. I've done a couple of little side quests that have been very, very good. And again, it makes it feel very connected. Like the side quests are based on like this event that's happened.
Yeah.
People are being affected by what is happening to Hyrule.